Hello everybody, welcome to another fun little Let's Build here. So we got one called, what was it? Nautilus Poseidon? I don't know if I'm saying that right. Could it be Nautilus Poseidon. Overall, pretty cool looking dude though. Has a nice green aesthetic. A little magazine part, and a weird trigger mechanism. So we'll have fun building that weird little piece. So, a bit more building in this one, but overall, pretty cool. It's nice to see another trigger design in here, which is going to be the exciting part of this build. And you got a little info up there, and then the fun little sprue kits and stuff. Overall, pretty much similar to the other plugin that I've already built, so we'll have the fun of doing this process again. So, woohoo! I am kind of worried about the clear plastic. Clear plastic is kind of a worrisome thing. Man, this trigger is going to be really weird. I just realized that little side thing right there. Ooh, and our instruction manual is right there with our stickers on top. Ugh. I love when everything gets bent like this. And our stickers are trying to pop out too. Like, no, don't do that. Kind of hoping those are all going to be fine. Might have to place a book on that to flatten that out, but overall, stickers are pretty cool. They're also in good shape too, but of course, 1998, so not gonna do that. And, you know, the fun part about these builds are, these, for example, this one, 120 right here, this still came before the anime. So that means the beginner anime ones that I first started out with came out later than every other one I've built so far, which is insane to think about that. Like, do we have one of the anime boxes around me? Ooh, do we? We have Gunma's, actually, so here we go. So Gunma's is 125. This one's 120. This is the system that came after the OS one. So that's crazy to think about that. That they were, like, that late to be introduced. I don't know where I put my Tamago one at, but the Tamago one is still also pretty... I think a late one in there as well. I think I have it near me. It might have came out around the same time, to be honest, or right in that same little numbering system. But overall, pretty cool, I guess. So let's take out our little pieces here, because we have quite a few. So this one probably won't have the back hatch thing to it, or maybe it will. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. Nothing else in that box, so we're going to put that behind us currently. And here's all of our fun build pieces. So we got our one random spare gear, some little extras, a screw kit, which is just left in there, which is kind of nice. Kind of prefer that method. Hopefully the screw won't have any issues for us. Big ol' springs, which is pretty cool, and more fun little gearings and stuff like that. Hoping this trigger is a good one. And of course we got more of the little builds there. It's kind of funny they put the red and the green on opposite ones. But overall, not too bad, not too bad. And then we got the clear pieces here, which these always scare me. Clear pieces are like a nightmare to build because they're always a little bit more fragile. And we got a little bit more pieces, which have a weird texture to them. It's kind of weird. Okay, more dark green pieces though. And we have these nice little light green ones, which more follow the nice basic aesthetic of the basic type of pie system, or the I forget the name of it, but yeah, the pie system pretty much. Don't know the full name, but I do remember the acronym they used. Overall, pretty nice build by looks of it. Excited to try out this whole trigger mechanism, and it looks like we don't have a back hatch, which is fine by me. I am so good about that. I'm glad about that. Back hatches are a pain in a butt. So, hoo-hoo. And let's look at the instructions that are slightly bent out of the normal ways here. Got a nice little yellow stain on them too. Ooh, fun. But overall, it doesn't seem too bad. So, let's see, where does it say to start? So it says to start with a little sprue thing, or... one of these pieces just a giant plastic green stick? I'm hoping not. This is where I find out like there's supposed to be like some other piece in here. I'm looking around real quickly. I'm like, ooh, no. It always worries me when I see something in there. Well, maybe it's in the bag. I forgot about the bag. Yeah, it is. So we're going to take this little metal rod here, and we're just going to set it up for a whole gearing system. It kind of reminds me of a crush gear, to be honest. So we'll have the fun of setting that all up. And that looks kind of pretty much it. Doesn't seem like too hard of a mechanism to put up. We got a nice little magazine for this guy, too. So overall, doesn't seem too bad. I'm kind of curious on how this will affect it. I'm guessing that does like a whole left and right thing to it. Don't know. But for right now, I guess we'll build it up and do all the fun. We're going to do our usual cut of me cutting these all out and just trimming it up and stuff like that. So we will be back in just a second. Hello everybody, we are back with trimming all the pieces and stuff like that. So we got all the wonderful stuff trimmed up. So first off, we need to unbag the rod. Because as you saw from earlier, from when we were looking through the instructions, we got to get the gearing all set up. So take this wonderful piece out. Good news is we don't have to deal with the screws in the bag, at least, so they slowly fix that up. Ooh, this is a bit dirty. Can I clean that off a bit? What is all that? Got a bit of gunk on there. Ooh. Might go clean that off real quickly. So, I'm going to pause this real quickly. I'm going to clean off some gunk, I guess, before we slap it on, because apparently this is filled with a bit of, I don't know what that is, see? Bit of a rust here, I'm guessing. Don't know, we'll clean it up real quickly, so be back in a quick second. Okay, so we are back. I did clean it up a bit. It does sadly have a bit of staining on it. Let's see if I can get it to focus. It does have a sad bit of staining on it, but it is cleaned up, so it kind of happens like that. It has been stuck in a bag for years, so sad part of the reality of this build, but overall not too bad. So we got to set up the gearing aspect of this, which is going to be a bit of fun. So going to start taking our pieces here. So we got our little screw, our little setup here, and we want to take this little like indentation nub right there and just plop it on down. And then the idea is you want to just basically start shoving it through. So there we go. And the cool part about this is it is sort of color coded in a way, so you can actually just sit down and just have these all nicely organized in a way. So you see there, all nice and organized by color. So pull part to it. Take the next part to it and shove it in there. That's kind of weird how it wants it to be done, but who knows? I'm not the leader of how this is designed. And then take our two little half pieces and just basically plop them on in there again. And then you just kind of want to just shove it on. Or do we want to shove that part on? Yes, we do. So. And then they're supposed to just clip on in, I guess, in a cool little fashionable way. And then there we go. Got our two little halves all set up and everything. Hopefully that is good enough on both of those pieces. The one rotates a bit, so the bottom one actually rotates, which is kind of cool. So just got to make sure to line those up later when we are setting this all up. So now we're going to move on to step 2, which involves our little half piece right here. So I'm going to take the little struggle bus of a piece here. And sorry for all the blurring. I don't know why my camera's wanting to blur. But basically we shove a little metal pole into this side of the construction, which is really fun for us because now we just have to trust gravity to do its job, I guess, and make sure it holds on to everything for us. Which it is! That's good for us, because we get to sit down and now pop out other pieces. Got to pop out a green little thingy-maboober out of this. Oh, man, why is this not wanting to pop out? I love when things have been like just stuck on there for so long that they're just not wanting to like physically come out in the ways. Let's see if I can twist it off on here. Using a handy dandy tool real quickly, just to pop it on off, because, ooh, it's not wanting. Used a bit of leverage, used a bit of a flat head and spudged it out, but it's pretty simple, pops on out. And we have another one on the other one over here. So you want to be really gentle with this. You just want to shove it on up under there, and there we go. Pops on off really easily, and we didn't damage the parts or anything, so that's good for us. And this sprue is now done with. We don't need it anymore. So we can now put that to the side. We do still need the other red one, though. And now we have to sit down and take a wonderful little weird ninja star piece, which is right over here, and take our two fun, wonderful pieces here. And we want to basically just have them have like the little slope area down. So we want to have the slope downwards. It does just kind of click on into place, which is really nice. Pretty cool looking little thing. Reminds me of Christmas, doesn't it? Gives you those Christmas feels in a way. And now we're wanting to take our little weird half pieces right here. And we're just wanting to just layer this on in there as well. Which is fun, isn't it? It's wanting us to do a bunch of weird little technical layering. And there we go. Got it all layered in there. Takes a little bit of finesse, but there you go. You see it nicely turning in there, which is really cool. Nice and cool little pieces to start fitting on in. So now we take our next wonderful little part here, which is one of these little flat bits here, which just goes underneath. Pretty cool little design, I guess. Kind of worrisome design, but I'm not going to argue too much with it. I'm like, ooh, yeah, I love these weird design aspects. It's like, ooh. And both these look similar, so hopefully they just work that cool little way. And now we're just kind of wanting its... one says 17, one says the other part, our number. I'm like, ooh, which ones are which? Try this one out, because this one has a little blocker piece in there, so... The fun of this one is that you get to have to sit there and experiment with the weirdness. Which, that one fits in a lot better. Okay, yeah, so... That one has a bit more of that nicer stopping little piece right there, which I'm guessing is meant to just like hold it in much more nicely. It is kind of nice that they did do this, because we're going to have to sandwich these two pieces in together, which will be a giant pain in the butt. And I am not lying about that. That will actually be a giant nightmare. Because the idea now is that we want to take another one of these, or let's see, how's this wanting us to do it? Ooh, actually, it's wanting us to do this a bit differently. So you see that little holder piece right there? It is actually wanting us to sit down and, I guess, just match it on up. Which is a bit crazy that they want us to do it like this, but, this is what I get for doing this build, I guess. It's a nice little sandwich. Don't know why that didn't make me do this earlier. It would probably been easier if I did this earlier in the build. I wonder if I can, actually. Let's see. Can I pull this out yet? Or, no? It might be freaking out on me for doing that. Okay, so I'm going to lay this down a bit. And we're going to try and see if I can just put these two pieces together without doing it the weird way they're wanting me to do it. And these don't hold together. Oh, that's why they wanted me to do it like that. Because they don't hold in together. Great, 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 great. Great. I'm understanding why this is a bit of a weirder one. So, guess we'll just layer that back in there and just drop it on into place, because learning the fun of this one, huh? And the idea is, I'm guessing, is they're just wanting us to do a bit of flip-a-doo action here. And then, this is the fun part here. So I'm guessing it's wanting us to... Can I just like roll it in there into the thing? Or... Oh, yeah, there we go. Nicely. Oh, well, not nicely in there, but to the best of our ability currently. It is just sort of in there. Try layering that up a bit. So I got it sort of matching to the other piece. And now we get to finally sit down and sandwich these two pieces together, which are now sort of coming apart because all this fun is really just a great way of just doing all this, isn't it? See if I can... Oh, come on. Stop arguing with me. Ooh, it's got a lovely little thing to it. It's like, ooh, come on. So now we're gonna sit there and sandwich these two pieces down, which uses probably one of my least favorite ways of doing this. Seriously, if Takara ever listens on this video, never bring back this concept again. Sandwiching is such a pain in the butt. It's worse in Crash B-Daman, because in Crash B-Daman, like, you really have no luck with it. But, ooh, these older buns just sit there in that fun agony process with it. Like, just straight up. So there we go. We got it nicely in there. Let's see if we can do our nice little... It sort of works nicely, I guess. You got it nicely in there. So, woo! That's just always a bit of a worrisome build there. And now it's wanting us to put in our little pads here. So, I'm guessing the idea is here is... Oh, actually, it's wanting us to do the holder piece, then pads. My dyslexic butt almost messed everything up there, wouldn't it? So, the idea of this is it just clips on in. It's a nice little clear piece that just shoves its butt on in. This late at night, and you can probably tell. So there's our giant springs that I'm apparently avoiding because it's just greatness in me. That's just how I work, apparently. So, ooh. So I guess I'm just have to shove it down in there, and that's our fun for the day. It's just... This is actually going to be a bit of a pain, isn't it? Okay, so we're going to have our fun here today. So let's see. Take our little tail piece here that we just showed off a minute ago. And now we're going to see if I can sit there and... See, this doesn't make it easier now to, like, put the things in. So, I guess the smarter way of doing it would be to just... Come on, let me clip you in fully. Actually kind of springs it back out though, that's kind of cool. I wish I could push that one piece back in a bit further in though. It doesn't really let me do that nicely. But overall, it's not too bad of a little thing to do and set up. The issue is it just doesn't let me set it up nicely enough to where I can just sort of... So there's our little cool trigger concept, I guess. Nice little art. Ew, I don't like how that's done. I wish those two pieces were just pushed together. See if I can just... Don't know if I'm supposed to push those one things fully on in. It doesn't really give you much of a detail at this point. So now it's actually wanting us to start assembling the core of it, so let's get to that fun real quickly. So this part's actually pretty similar to the last little B-Daman build we did. Take our little centerpiece here, plop it into the one side, or it does actually have a sort of orientation that goes into it. So that's all you do, pop the small piece into there, and then you want to take your little core piece, slide it into this little notch in that little area. Pretty simple there. And then you just want to take the other half and do a bit of sandwiching, but this sandwiching isn't that bad because you can just finagle the pieces in all nicely in there. And there we go, got a nice little core in there, got our weird little plastic leftovers and stuff like that. And ooh, we were actually supposed to attach the horn into this. So I'm guessing the idea... There's that. Okay, we're doing really great today. I already have fears that this video is going to be very long in horrible ways, and I'm like, no. Okay, so the idea with this one is you just kind of want to shove it on in, which I'm guessing... How's this done with shoving it in? Okay, so you want to actually have this piece flipped over, and then you just kind of... What is it? They want this to be just shoved on in. Which way is it wanting us to shove it in? Like this way? Okay. Kind of a weird design. But I guess it allows us to just flip it upwards and fix it up later, so. Take our little piece here, put it back in. I'm doing really great today. Gravity is treating me well, as you've probably all noticed. But we want to take our little piece. Which do we just kind of weirdly shove it in and... How is this wanting us to do this? Oh, it's wanting us to do this the opposite way, okay. So, it wants us to take this a cool opposite direction. Which, don't know if that's really working well, but... So the idea is that like, there's a little empty space like right above it, and you just kind of want to just... See, there's a little slit right there, and then you just kind of want to fit it in there. I have to grab that red piece again, because this is probably the last piece we should have probably put in there, but my arrogance is making me go other directions with this today. And then take our little places in, get the one side set up, and get the other side set up, and bam, look at that. Super nice. It's all fitting in there correctly. And now we want to take our front headpiece here, which is nice and accommodating for our little horn there. This is a plastic horn, by the way, so you don't have to deal with the battle beat-em-on nonsense of weird rubber horns and stuff like that. You get a nice straight plastic horn. And there we go. Fits nicely. Looks wonderful. Love the green aesthetic already. And now we have to do our favorite parts here of shoving in arms. And another shoving the arm in. Or actually, let's shove one arm in and then screw it into place. And then we'll shove the other arm in. Because now we have to take out these screws, which are just nicely in this little thing. We're going to use a piece of thing to rip off the tape though, because let's be honest, that tape is really in there. Looks like we actually got some spare screws this time around. Or maybe it's just like one more extra for a thing. But there we go, let's take our little screws out. Take our little arm screws at least out of there. Grab out the wonderful screwdriver that helped us out around last time. And plop it in, because that's just the joys of these little battle builds, or not battle, super builds, is some screwing, or at least these pie builds, not the OS builds. Okay, there we go. Nice tight in their arm, pretty cool. Now we want to take the other arm, slap it on in, which, pretty easy. They have little nooks and crannies on the undersides that let it just slide into place pretty nicely. Very much like how a Crossfight works, by the way. This is pretty much exactly, except instead of weird plastic screws, it's nice metal ones. So you can actually get some really nice quality control, and you get to just have that fun in it. Like, wow. And of course, you have the weird little slide gimmick concept here. You got 2 more screws that go in the back of the head, which these are the ones always worry me. Well, from what I've done so far, because the last one I did, one of the screws that gave me some horrible trouble. Take our one tinier screw out of there. And then, man. So we got 1 spare screw. I don't know if that is the actual spare or not. But now we gotta take our tiny screws and just shove them on in, because this is the life we live, and now I had to sit there and struggle with these things. Maybe it was just a fluke that one time. I don't know. I don't know. You do actually have to hold the head pressure in, by the way, so that you do actually have to sit there and just screw it on in. There we go. That one went in super nice. Maybe that first time I just did it, one of the screws was just a bit crappy, which would make sense because the rest of the screws just ran super nicely. Yeah, because these go in so much nicer than that OS build I had. Or in that OS, the Phoenix build. That Phoenix, ooh, or not Phoenix, the Proto 1, not Phoenix, ooh. That first Proto 1 build I had, one of the screws I had for it just did not want to go in properly. So, it just was a giant pain in the butt. But, this one so far went in super nicely. That just went really great. I know it's fun when your first OS, or I mean your Pi system, not OS, ugh, not Super Wake, sorry. But it's fun when your first proto build has that fun issue and you're just like freaking out because you don't know if it's like you messing up on it or something else, and you're just like, oh man, it is pure fear. So it's telling us to move on to the feet now, which pretty much you want to put the smooth side on the top. So it just nicely fits in there. And you just want to have it where it's just open currently for a bit. Because when it does insert in, you just want to push it in and you see those little hook parts there. Hook into the bottom of the thing, which is really nice. So now we want to take our barrel here. And we're just wanting it to slide on in. Which is crazy design. Like just, ooh, does that not want to... let's see if I can get this to be sliding a bit easier. Okay, there we go. So I saw what I did there. You actually have to kind of push the trigger in when you're doing that. So, don't know if that's just me improperly improperly doing that, but overall, pretty weird little design. Kind of weird. The triggers are actually pretty nice though. It feels pretty overall solid. It is cool they gave you an extra screw, though. That is actually going to be super nice. And it'll go in my spare parts for Super bag, because Super has a lot of weird spare parts in it. But there we go. Push that little thing in there. So you see, it now holds on super nicely. And don't really have to deal with the other nonsense besides this last little piece here. So one nice thing I will actually mention before slapping that one piece on, or, well, I guess while undoing it, because... is that you don't have to deal with a back hatch in this build, which is super nice. How does this piece go in? Does that go in the other way, or it doesn't really matter, I guess, huh? It's like, let's see. Bam. Or, is that bam yet? Okay, there we go. So just sort of twist on there pretty nicely. And that actually completes the aesthetic super grill. So, guess we can take the marble out of this guy. So it does give you a spare screw, which is, like I'm going to say, super nice. I guess keep that nice little spare screw somewhere. My plan is probably just put some new set of tape over this one thing right here. And just keep it in there. And call it a day for that guy. So I do keep all the boxes for my battle stuff, so... I mean, super stuff, not battle. Ooh, man, that is gonna keep on messing with me, isn't it? So our ball goes in there and actually holds in super weirdly. So let's try this out now. Let's see, do we have my puck somewhere? We do have my puck. So we'll put the puck down, move everything around, and we'll zoom on out because why not? So overall, this gimmick looks pretty interesting. We'll move this over a bit. And I'm guessing the idea is you just want to just push both at the same time. So you want to have each thumb, I'm guessing, on each of the paddles and just go. And ooh, that was such a weird... Did I miss the shot? I'm guessing I did. So, kind of weird gimmick. I don't know if it really helps with power, though. It's kind of actually makes the marble go back up, too. That's so weird. So, look, if I don't push the marble all the way down, it actually will take it back up in there. So you actually want to push one side and actually load in marbles. So that's kind of weird. This does have a cool little barrel concept into it. So I'm guessing the idea is, like, let's say if you want to load in some extra marbles. Well, 3 marbles by the looks of it. So yeah, got 3 marbles overall. But I guess if you want to just take a shot and be like... Ooh, that is such a weird... Did the other one go down into it? Yes, it did. Okay, making sure. And ooh, we just shot down Cobalt Blade right there. So, this guy has some weird power to him already. So, that is weird. So, yeah, you have to slightly push one down and actually load the marble in. Okay, that's so weird. Overall, not too bad of a build, though, I guess. And... see if I can just gently shoot out this one marble in there. Can actually sort of do a one-handed shot method with it too, so. Overall, not bad of a B-Daman. Just, you know me, I always have to test them out on this thing. Especially when they have such weird gimmicks. It's like, ooh. But we did not damage the Cobalt Blade, y'all, by the way, if you're worried about that. He is perfectly fine. His stickers are always peeling, though, but... that's the reason why you don't want to put old stickers on them. They do not hold their stickers well at all. That's why you want to get some nice reproductions, and I have not done that yet fully, so it's great. But overall, that's the end of this whole little review here. Cool little B-Daman. I'm going to have to test this out myself in a bit of working out. But pretty cool. Love the pie system so far. Really awesome. That's it. Thank y'all for watching. Bye.